Hey, this is Dr. Tiziant, and welcome to the Weight Loss Surgery Show. I think in 2019, I'm going to change things up a little bit. 2018 was a great year, but if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, we'll be very stagnant, and that's just not how I've always kind of approached things. So first, we're going to forego the general introduction to the Weight Loss Surgery Show. That really did not seem like it was me. Seemed a little hokey, to be perfectly honest with you, but that will kind of go away. If anybody does have any suggestions of what their ideas would be to open up like a podcast or something else of that nature, please feel free to drop me a line, let me know in the office, however you'd like to. Let me know on Facebook, those types of things there too. The other aspect of 2019 is that I think that I would like to change how I approach these podcasts. The beginning ones were trying to be centered around education, so everyone had a particular topic, and then I would approach that topic in a logical fashion and try to provide some information. And now that tends to be my usual, but for the most part, I tend to have a tendency to get very caught up into the details of things, and I'm sure it can get very technical and overwhelming. So my promise is to try to make things a little bit more tangible, a little bit more relatable. But I'd also like to talk about things that we see from the office perspective, and maybe perhaps go down the road of kind of having these podcasts be viewing life from the bariatric surgeon perspective, as well as from the patient perspective. And so, again, if anybody ever is interested in telling their story and having it put out on a podcast, again, please drop me a line and let me know. But I'd like to talk to you about a concept or a topic that I see an awful lot of in the office, and that is a little bit of victimism or apathy towards somebody's weight. And this is really kind of in light of, or in the concept of after somebody's had surgery. There are patients that'll come to the office that might not be losing as much weight as he or she wants to lose, and you ask them what he or she is actually doing to help themselves, and you don't get anything back. There's no information from my perspective, and folks aren't tracking what they're eating. They're not taking any accountability for all that. They're not exercising, and yet they look at me, the surgeon, and ask, well, why am I not losing more weight? Now, there's two ways of going about this from my perspective. One is I can get very frustrated with that person, and that's very easy to do, but I try not to. I try to understand how folks are. But I don't personally understand how folks can ask how they're not losing as much weight if they don't take any accountability for what they're doing. Because certainly when it comes down to approaching somebody's health, they have to be very clear as to why they want to lose weight, how they want to accomplish that task, and really, what does that mean to them? Does that mean that they'll be able to spend more time with their family, participate with their kids in different activities that they've been unable to do? But what's that one driver? Because I think that both for the short term and the long term, that tends to get lost. That clarity as to why tends to fade away over the course of time. And when folks are losing their clarity, they lose their commitment for that as well too. So, when I get and I see folks that are there, so again, the first response is that's very frustrating, but it's not, because it's not really my disease. I'm not the owner of that person's weight. I'm not the one who's ultimately responsible for that. I can provide as much help and guidance and information and try to steer folks along the right direction, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to actually choose which path that they want to take. Do they want to take the path of doing the same old routine and hoping for a better outcome, which we know doesn't occur, or do they want to choose a different path, understanding that there's going to be some challenges? It's going to not be the easy way, but it will certainly give them the best opportunity to achieve their goals. But again, that's just how that all kinds of goes with that as well too. But that's one of the topics that tends to, as a bariatric surgeon or a weight loss metabolic surgeon, tends to kind of plague the office a little bit. And it's sort of this idea of tell me what to do. I just want the advice. And unfortunately, again, that doesn't work. Folks really need to be clear. So one of the ways of being very clear is to really writing down one's goals. And that's the first step. And really understanding why those are your goals. And to keep those around at all times. Because there will be times when it'll be hard as things going forward. And referring back to those goals is a great thing. When folks get very apathetic of why bother, because I'll only gain the weight back, that's really a dangerous kind of a feeling, or a very dangerous kind of a thought pattern, because there is no way of actually helping that person if they are just looking at their health in such a fatalistic way that doesn't make a difference, and no matter what I do, I will just be sick and eventually succumb to the disease or die. That is unfortunately not something that any of us can help out with there as well too. But anyway, I just wanted to try to change things up a little bit going into 2019 and maybe try a little bit different approach to it all. So I'm always open to some different suggestions and different topics, but my first step is to get in the habit of doing these podcasts, because I was very poor at that in 2018, and as I get in the habit of doing them, I'll also hopefully improve them and make them a little bit more beneficial as folks are moving forward. Anyway, as usual, we wish all of you the best, and stay tuned for more podcasts from Find Your Center, the Weight Loss Surgery Show. Thanks for listening.